Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is May 21st, 2024, and if you haven't noticed, the drums of war are still beating as loudly as they were yesterday, maybe louder. I don't know. Every day I'm like, okay, what are we doing now? That's what's going. That's how I'm thinking as I look at world events. Now then, in this video, we're going to talk about this wonderful manual, how to act in case of war. How to act. Now, y'all, I don't know. I'm a mother of 3. And I'm like, hey, when I was raising my kids, I'm like, you better act right, or I'm going to take you out and whip your butt. I mean, that's how we rolled. And my kids rolled that way. If that offends you, I'm sorry. You talk to my adult children, they'll be telling you, I'm glad my mom raised me that way. So, I'm not advocating how you raise your kids. You got to do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is, man, I told them how to act. Basically, I just wanted my children to grow up and be nice. Nice people, all right? So, and I did that by telling them how to act. Now, so when I see the title of this, How to Act in Case of War, it's a behavior. Look, you need to adopt these behaviors, which to me, that the country of Latvia, who put this together and sent this to their citizens last week, okay, the country that does it, I'm like, props to you for at least calling it like it is. At least in y'all in my country, in the United States, I feel like we're not really seeing it or talking about it. I don't know. We're sweeping it under the rug. I really don't know exactly how to describe it, but I would rather know how to act, especially if the subject matter is war, than not know how to act. I want information. I want to know. And so we're going to read, we've started reading this in the last video. Now, in my neck of the woods, y'all, everything is going well. There is peace, there is silence, there is everybody's healthy, everybody's working. Prices at the store are a little hard to swallow when I go buy things, but that's okay, because our brother Paul tells us in Philippians, I've learned to be content in every circumstance. So whether I have a lot or whether I have a little, I've got God. And that never changes. God never changes. And that's why why believers we're going to be able to get through these times. Okay, we're going to be able to get through just fine. Just hang on to God. Now, you might get nervous, you might get scared, you might stumble, you might fall. It's okay. It's okay, because we have each other and we help each other up and we say, you can keep going. So in this video, I mainly want to say, you can keep going. It's going to be okay. Jesus is going to fix everything that's wrong in your life. I promise you. And if you don't see it on this side of heaven, you'll see it on the other side. So, and listen, that's so easy for me to say, because I'm sitting there saying, oh, Jesus can fix everything in your life. And then, then I get off this video and I think, man, I need to go fix my, everybody who I don't like in the world. That's about what I'm at. So I am a fixer, y'all. So that's why that resonates with me. That's one of the reasons I love Jesus so much, is because he takes that burden off of me, because I like to be the one that can see the problem and know how to solve the problem and then know how to execute the solution. And the truth is, the Lord has been telling me, I know you're good, child. I know you're good at things like that. But I'm perfect, you see, and so let me fix this. And that's faith. That's where my faith grows, and he's ever so gentle in teaching me those things. So if you're a fixer, let Jesus fix it. If you're not a fixer, then then you're lucky. I don't know, because then you're sleeping good at night because you're not on that hamster wheel. Okay, so let's go. I want to read to you from 1 John chapter 2. I want to read this to you, just a little blip of it that I hope encourages you, okay? Because you can sit here all day, every day, and twice on Sunday and say, hey, I really wish I could hear from the Lord. I really wish I could hear the Lord talk to me. And granted, there are ways the Lord communicates with us. We're all different. So however he talks to me may not be how he talks to you. And that's okay. The way he talks to you today may not be how he talks to you tomorrow. And that's okay. The Lord is bigger than all of us. Let him flow the way he's going to flow, y'all. And you don't have to hold on so tight and try so hard. Just let go and let the Lord do what he needs to in your life. Crawl up on that potter's wheel and be that clay and let him mold you. Okay, we're going to start right here in 1 John chapter 2, verse 7. And I love John, man. I love how he writes. Here we go. Dear friends, I'm not writing a new commandment for you. Rather, it is an old one you have had from the very beginning. This old commandment, to love one another, is the same message you heard before. So, y'all, when you read the 10 Commandments, those are couched in love. Love God. The first few of the 10 Commandments point to loving God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the rest of the commandments are love other people like you love yourself. Okay? So, notice John doesn't go into listing the 10 Commandments, because when the new covenant comes, Jesus brings the attitude. It's the attitude, the inside, that changes with the blood of Christ and with grace and the Holy Spirit. So, this old commandment to love one another is the same message you heard before. Yet it is also new. Jesus lived the truth of this commandment, and you also are living it. For the darkness is disappearing, and the true light is already shining. If anyone claims, I am living in the light, but hates a fellow believer, that person is still living in darkness. Anyone who loves a fellow believer is living in the light and does not cause others to stumble. But anyone who hates a fellow believer is still living and walking in darkness. Such a person does not know the way to go, having been blinded by the darkness. And then we're going to skip over here to verse 15. Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are from this world. And this world is fading away. And this world, y'all, is fading away, along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases God will live forever. I love that, because even as we talk about war, as we talk about getting ready, as we prepare our arks for whatever's coming, we need to understand we are not part of this world. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you're a citizen of the kingdom of God, of the next life, not this one. We're just passing through. Y'all know that song that what is that old hymn? I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. Yeah. If you know that hymn, put it in the comment section below. Clearly, I wasn't prepared to even start singing that. Yeah, we're just walking through this world. You know, we're not part of it. Now, even though spiritually we're not part of it, we are living in it physically. So let's keep reading about how the Latvian government is telling its people to get ready, how to act in war. I think they must know something's on the horizon, or they wouldn't have put this together. So aren't we blessed to be able to read it ourselves? Because I believe, this is my opinion, y'all, and you tell me what your opinion is in the comment section. I believe we're going to see war on our shores of the United States of America. I believe that. So that's why I'm glad I have this booklet. Now, here we go. How to prepare your residence. Okay. Make sure you have in stock at home drinking water and water for other needs, for example, washing. products with a long shelf life. First aid kit. Flashlights, spare batteries, or accumulators thereof, candles. So a source of light. A gas burner with spare gas cylinders for cooking, or stove with another type of fuel. Something that doesn't require electricity. Fire extinguishers. Yep. Or even a fire blanket, y'all. Have you seen those on Amazon? Those are like $15. They're pretty great. Warm blankets, sleeping bags, warm underwear in the cold weather season. A set of critical items in case of evacuation or moving to a shelter. Alternative autonomous heat source for cases when the centralized heating system does not work. Hygiene and sanitary products. For detailed information, see the section Essentials for a Crisis in the updated How to Act in a Crisis booklet. So apparently there's a prequel to this. All right, the crisis, not the war. Y'all, whatever it is, hey, you know what? I'm going to be looking up that because this may be something I need in my library too. What I would like to ask you to comment in the comment section below, when it says a set of critical items in case of evacuation or moving to a shelter, what would that be? I can kind of guess what that would be, but what do you think that would be? Please put in the comment section what you think that would be, and make sure you kind of like, this is what I'm referring to. Also, y'all, the alternative heat source, that's another thing. There's a whole bunch of different ideas out there that people have that we can glean from each other. What are you going to use for heat? Now, I know we're in the middle of summer, and like it's hotter than heck down here. I get that. I'm in the Panhandle of Texas. We're cold in the morning, and we're hot in the evening right now, in the afternoon. But like when it's cold, what are you planning? What do you have that's going to keep you warm and keep your children warm, keep your family warm? Okay, now here is, oh my goodness, I can't. Here we go. I don't know. There's no title to this. It's just a continuation. Said funds, F-U-N-D-S, said funds should cover minimum needs for at least 72-hour period. However, as the experience of Ukraine shows, in case of war, it should be necessary to provide water and food for the longest possible period of time. Plot twist. I'm like, I did not expect to read that sentence. Okay. In case of war, it would be necessary to provide water and food for the longest possible period of time. So even though it says 72 hours, it even has the number 72 right here. What they're really saying is, you better be in it for the long haul. Okay. It's interesting. If you live in a private house, set up a simple shelter in the basement. Offers help to elderly neighbors or people who cannot do it on their own. Prepares their places of residence and sets of critical needed items. Be prepared to support their sheltering or evacuation. Okay, we have to remember this was translated into English, so the structures of the sentences may not be exactly what we're used to. But basically what's that's saying, hey, you better know who your neighbors are, and if you can help the elderly, you need to. My parents are about as elderly as I need to be wanting to help, okay? But I will help them. I will help them. That's fine. There are other people in my neighborhood. I know my neighbors. I know them very well. We're good friends. Get to know the people around you. You may need the help too. I also know that Pam and David across the road have a big basement. Now, they're preppers too, kind of. So, you know, we'll be having conversations. Okay, now here we go. Adaptation of basement or other underground spaces for sheltered needs. Okay, so if you, we'll see what this is. I have an idea what this is going to be talking about. Will this be alluding to nuclear? That's my question here. Okay, the best choice is a basement with a reinforced concrete cover and masonry walls. Shelves made of durable material are created along the walls, which can provide additional support for the wall, fulfill the function of a shelf as well as a bed. Plan or create a backup exit from the shelter. Man, that's true. Create a ventilation system. Yep. Think about an independent heating system, stove. Create a smoke gas exhaust system, not forgetting about fire safety. Okay? In other words, have something down there you can stay warm with and maybe cook over. If the basement has windows, prepare bags filled with sand or other loose materials or concrete blocks, etc., to cover them. That's nuclear. Provide mobile stoves for food preparation. Okay, provide yourself with drinking water containers or bottles with an estimate of 3 liters drinking water per person, some food, and warm clothes. Now, I know that we live in America, though most of my viewers do. We have basically said no to the metric system, like maybe even no, heck no to the metric system. So when we read the rest of the world is on the metric system, 3 liters, y'all are going to have to convert that. Basically, you think 1 gallon to 2 gallons per person per day, or 1.5 gallons, however you want to figure it, of water. Provide a toilet solution. Oh, yes. That can be a bucket. That can be a camping toilet. Y'all get a lot of trash bags, kitty litter, those kinds of things. Do your research on that. But you're going to need it. If possible, allocate space for food, supplies, human accommodation, and sanitary needs. Y'all, get some baby wipes, get some body wipes. Those are, if you're in the basement during a nuclear event, be thinking 2 weeks, all right? If you don't have a Geiger counter, you may want to get one and get familiar with it, because if the numbers come down, then the gamma rays or whatever that's measuring, y'all, I am no expert in that regard. And NY Prepper is, he's got a whole series of videos, but totally, if you have a Geiger counter, you will know when it's safe to come out, and it may be before the 2 weeks, which would be nice. Okay? If there are small children in the family, prepare board games or other means to occupy them. That's true. Back in the day, when you're raising children without a computer, we understand that skill. Maybe I should do a whole video. How to entertain your children without using the internet. Oh, my word. What a good idea that is. I may do that. Okay, let's see. Because, y'all, when we were driving for 8 hours, 12 hours in the car, and we didn't have the internet, you had to keep your kids busy. Man, I can do that with my eyes shut and one hand tied behind my back. Man, I got so good I could change a diaper with one hand while I was driving, y'all. Not really. I'm teasing. But, I mean, you mothers out there, you've been in the trenches. You know what that is, okay? All right, I'm sorry. I digress. Let's see. You need to keep your kids busy. And then the last one means one or more responsible person who will take care and maintain the availability and order of these premises. Meaning that if Pam and David and I get together and talk about using their basement, then we need to start preparing their basement right now. And either they're going to keep up the supplies, or I am, or whoever, because you never know when you're going to need it, when the sirens are going to go off. Okay, now we're going to stop right there, because the next section is how to prepare water supplies. Okay, do we have any pictures in this? Here is a picture. I'm sorry, I do not mean to laugh. I just laugh because I think I cannot believe I am actually reading this manual and it is legit. It's not even a theory. It's like, here we are here, y'all. Okay, here's a picture. Help your neighbors, especially if they're elderly. Okay, so there's that. And then, is there any other picture here? No, no. And then this is for tomorrow, or our next video, whenever that will be. The water, how to prepare your water. Here's a man with a dolly with water. Now, if you'll look at these water containers, y'all, those big jugs with the lid on top, like, you know, you see in off, like at the water, like, you know, in the office. When you get those, I mean, you can get them. They're not very expensive on Amazon or Walmart. They're legit. They're not darkened, so I would put them in a dark closet. But they're like $10, $12, maybe $15 for one. I know that's not, but still, if you get 4 of those, you know, or even for a family of 4, that's 5 days of water. Is that right? I'd have to do the math on that. But I'm just saying, those are really legit containers. You don't necessarily need a fancy, you know, 55-gallon thing. Or, you know, when you're thinking about, well, I'll buy bottles of water. Y'all, those bottles, that plastic does not wear well. It does not hold up well. I mean, it's better than nothing, clearly. Also, you'd be having to buy a heck of a lot of water bottles to have enough for 2 weeks for a family of 4. Now, if it's just you, or if it's just you and your husband, or you and your wife, or just 2 of you, then, yeah, maybe that's your best answer. I don't know. But, yeah, water's a thing. Especially, y'all, they did not eat. Did you hear that? For as long as, you know, the duration being forever. We're not going to put a time limit. Get as much as you can to last for as long as you can last. And so, do not forget how easy it is to get beans, rice. Right now on Amazon, I checked it last night, food grade buckets with lids, with just the tamp down lids, not the lids that screw open. Those are more expensive. But like a bucket, 6 food grade buckets with lids, it was like $35. Now, y'all, in the height of the pandemic, the food grade buckets were like $65 for 6. Now, I kept looking at that, thinking, am I reading that right? I think that's what it said. This may be a good time. Get your food grade bucket, y'all, and get you some pinto beans, and just put pinto beans in there, and some bay leaves and oxygen absorbers, and then get a hammer and knock that lid down. Start stacking those buckets of beans and rice. And then get you some tomato sauce, or pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, anything that's got flavor, hot sauce, chili powder, all of those seasonings that will jazz up your palate a little bit so you won't get food fatigue. Oh my goodness, I've gone way too long. All right, we're going to stop right there. Y'all, do what you need to do today to prepare your ark. Stay close to Jesus. He is the truth and salvation and the only way to God. Stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.